Beautiful. I believe we are live. So, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Intentional Iron Podcast. I am your host, Maddox, and today we're going to be running through another solo little Q&A. I'm pretty much just still getting used to all this podcast stuff. So, if you hear in the background the podcast itself, it's because I'm reviewing like how everything sounds from your guys' end. So, just getting used to all this. You can't really get good at anything if you never try. So that's basically what these first episodes are going to be. Just me like trial and erroring different things within the podcast, just to hear like my mic and stuff like that. I'm actually going to mute myself and see if this sounds good. All right. So today's episode is going to be a little bit of like prep stories and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this on the Instagram as well. Maybe. Why did it do that? Why does it do that? Oh my gosh. Well, looks like I gotta figure that out. Alright, anyways, I gotta figure out how to get my other camera to actually record the whole podcast, but that's fine. We'll do it like this for now, and we'll go from there. But today's podcast is going to be prep stories. Basically prep stories, prep tips, all that kind of stuff. There's a little Q&A. I had to put up a question box on my Instagram and got a few questions about that kind of stuff. So that's what we'll be going through. Just wrapped up my lower body session. That will be the next thing that will be up on the YouTube. Will be my lower body session, my lower B session. I just went through. Haven't done a training video in quite some time, so that was fun to do. But first question is going to be, what was your hardest day in prep and why? So, I know that there was a point in my last prep that my cardio got up to like 2 hours last prep. The both of the preps that I've done have gotten up to 2 hours or whatever, but there was one specific day where I got home. Like how I would do my cardio was I would do like an hour. I would do an hour fasted, obviously. It's hour fasted, hour post workout. But this was the day that I decided to do my post workout cardio when I got home on my elliptical instead of after the gym, um, like on the treadmill or whatever. And I remember I came home to the elliptical and I was like, I like had eaten my post workout meal or whatever, and I realized like I have to do this another hour of cardio, and I was like, oh my god, I have a picture. I have a picture on my phone from this. Oh my service is gone. That's weird. I have a picture from this exact day that I'm talking about. That was like I don't know. Like I literally thought I was gonna like pass out like 20 minutes into the cardio, and I was like, I can't finish this. Yeah, look. Like I'm actually like I felt like I was deceased. But that was probably the hardest day. Um I can't remember why that day was so hard. It was just like the diet had been like, I had been no carb for like a couple weeks at that point, and it was like, when was that? That was October. My show was October 25th, so that was like 2 weeks out. So that was like right at the end of my big push or whatever, like my big um the worst part of the prep basically. So that was my worst day, was that final day. And I think a few days after that we started refeeding with like a burger and fry every night or whatever, and that was fun. But my favorite the next question is my favorite memory from prep. And prep itself, I don't have like a favorite memory from per se. I think my favorite part of the prep and the show in general was being with my coach, like in his hotel room and in my hotel room, and just the whole process of like the day out. Like the one day out to the show day, that whole process of peaking and just being with my coach, just like doing the photos every couple hours, and him being like, okay, check in, here's this meal, here's this next meal with this much water, with this much coffee or whatever, check in with me at X time and get these pictures. And that whole process was probably my favorite part of the whole prep. Just like being so stuck into it for a couple of days. Was like, I even have a video on my phone where I'm talking about like, I'm like, hey Maddox, this is you, this is show day you or whatever, this is something that you're super passionate about, like, do not give up on this. And so that was probably my favorite day of prep, was just the one day out, like I guess the peaking process of it was just so fun. And just getting to be around my coach and stuff like that was super fun, because I look up to him like a dad or whatever, like a literal father figure. And just being around him and like just seeing everything kind of come together at the end was really fun. That's one thing that I like always remember, is like both my show days, but this one especially, because I was a little more I wouldn't say advanced, but I knew a little bit more about like what was going into the process. So that was really fun. Just like that whole peaking process was super sick. Super sick. And this next one is tips for cardio when you have like super high ADHD. So what I do personally for my cardio, like during my cardio sessions, is I use that as my time to work on like social media posts for the day. So obviously everyone watching this isn't going to be posting on needing to post on social media on a day-to-day basis or whatever, but that's what I do during my cardio. Is I'm like, because like during the day I don't want to be like if I'm at work or something, like I don't want to be like on my lunch break and then focusing on posting for the day. I'm like, I would like to take my lunch break and be trying to get back to clients or working on, studying or whatever it may be. So like in the morning, that 30 minutes, I'm like, folks, I get all my posts drafted for the day. I get all my TikToks drafted for the day. Or if I already have posts drafted from previous days, or whatever, I'll study. Like I'm currently working through J3U, which is like John Jewett's like bodybuilding like university or whatever. So what I'll do during that time is I'll study. Like I'll have a couple modules picked out that I want to go through, and then I will go through like that. So, and you can also read whatever. Other tips for cardio, if you've got like ADHD and you just like get super bored, you could always like, if you've got like Amazon Prime or whatever, you can get like the streaming service, like watch a movie or something. What else you could read? But I guess if you have ADHD, your mind could just start going in like a million different directions or whatever. So I guess reading probably wouldn't be the best idea during cardio, especially if you're like for me, like when I read, I like to read in a state to where I will like retain what I'm reading, not just like reading for the sake of reading. Like I don't really like that kind of thing. So like during cardio, it's like if I'm busting my balls on cardio, I'm not gonna like take in half the stuff I'm reading like on a level to where I could like apply it. Because like the books that I read usually are like more like, I guess like, well, if it's not a bodybuilding book, it's like a self-help book. So it's like I would like to take the principles that I'm reading in this book and think about it and formulate it in a way that I can apply that to my life. It's like if I'm busting my nuts on the elliptical, I am not thinking about how I can like be more productive in the mornings or how I can whatever. So it's like maybe reading wouldn't be for you. But like just for me, like what I do personally is I like will schedule out all my social media posts, during my cardio. Another tip for cardio is always keep the screen covered. I know y'all probably seen my post on that, and y'all have seen posts about that on social media, I'm sure 1,000 times, but do not ever go do cardio and just like stare at the screen, because it will go by 20,000 times slower. I promise. Just have like a towel, or you get your shirt, have like an extra shirt and just throw it on the screen and cover it up, and that'll help a lot. Okay. Next question is, what is your favorite suboptimal lift? I actually just did probably my favorite suboptimal lift, which is this heavy ass RDLs. I think that's probably my favorite suboptimal lift. I don't really do too many like crazy lifts like that. Like I don't do like free bar squats anymore. I don't really do much of that, which I probably should, but I don't. But like I do think it's good, especially for a beginner, to have like some lifts within their regiment that they just go in. Like I talked about that in my YouTube video I'm going to put up. But I think there are just some lifts that a beginner or like a new guy should have in the gym, or really anyone for that matter. Most people, that they should just have like go in and just full send it, whether it be like deadlifts, whether it be barbell rows, whether it be RDLs, whatever. What else could that be? Like free bar squats, just stuff like that. I do think there should always be some like what people would deem as suboptimal in your program, where you just go in and just full balls to the wall send it. You know what I mean? Making sure you have a stable internet connection. What? Well, hopefully this is still rolling. Actual recording is higher quality. Trying to reconnect. No, there's so much to learn with this podcasting thing. I suck at this. Well, hopefully this is still recording. But yeah, I think probably like heavy RDLs, like whether it be on a Smith machine, or I prefer to do free weight. Just heavy RDLs is my favorite probably. Prep tips, prep stories. What are some other good ones? So I got to a point down in prep where I was so like deprived of flavor within my diet, and just, I got to a point where I was like probably at like 1,050 calories total and 2 hours of cardio, plus the job I work, I get like 25 to 30,000 steps a day, not including my cardio. So I was quite depleted, I wouldn't say suffering, because it's like, I hate when people, not to go down a rabbit hole on this and not to get away from what the question was or whatever, but I hate when people will deem like prep within a prep and bodybuilding as like they're suffering. It's like, if you don't like doing this, you don't have to, like, you don't have to, like, you're choosing to do this shit. So if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Quit doing it. Oh, I'm suffering, I'm getting through the suffering. It's like, shut up. Please shut up. Like, you're choosing to do this. If you don't love to do this, then don't do it. Like, I never looked at my prep as like suffering. Like, there are some days that I was like, yeah, this sucks, but it's like, you could always just go to McDonald's and just call it quits if you want to, but you're not. So it's like, I hate when people deem like prep as suffering. I hate that term. But some other good prep stories. Yeah, I got down to a point where probably this is where I was down bad the most, was when I'm gonna check and make sure that this is still recording. I really don't. Wait. Is all my service down? I'm gonna freak out. Check and make sure that this is still recording. I really don't. Wait. Is all my service down? Okay, sweet. We're still going. Okay. But, yeah, so when I was down bad the most during prep was when I got to this point where I was, like, my meal one was 300 or 250 grams of egg whites, and that's it. And I would put, this is going to sound so disgusting. Oh my God, I can't put this. I would put mustard on it, like, on top, and I would, like, lather it on. And then I would put a stevia packet on top. So it was egg whites, mustard, and stevia. And that was pretty bad. That was probably the worst. That's probably gonna be a prep story I tell forever. Is that, and then I remember I heard Kennedy, Colossus Ken, talk about this. Is that you brush like you get to a point in prep sometimes when you're like, especially when you're in the beginning, you have to push it to a point if you want to be like in condition to where it's gonna sound psychotic, where it's like on my first prep I got down to 950 calories and 2 hours of cardio. It's like, well, I had no muscle, so I had to be, I had to get in condition somehow. So, but my another thing was like there was a point where I would brush my teeth with only a certain amount of or a certain kind of toothpaste just because of the way it tasted. And I wouldn't say I was eating it, but I would use so much of it. I would use more toothpaste than is needed. Like by far, like I would use so much more and just I would like brush my teeth for like 30 minutes or 15 minutes just because of like the taste it gave me. And that was I remember when I went through like my 2 week phase of doing that, I was like, dude, I am cooked. This is crazy. Like, why am I brushing my teeth for 30 minutes? I don't know. That's another good prep story or whatever. Is that was just gross. And like that, my meal plan at that point was, I remember it was 250 grams of egg whites and then 3 meals of 200 grams of tilapia and 100 grams of asparagus. And then my pre-meal on training days was 50 grams of cream of rice and 2 scoops of isolate. And then on the rest days, it was just that other tilapia and greens meal and then the egg whites, and that was it. And yeah, so that's been my past 2 preps is just fish and greens, 1 carb meal, and 2 hours of cardio. So that's probably where I'm going to be at for a while. It's kind of part of it, I guess. But that's all the questions I had. What else could I go over? I guess more prep tips. Prep tips. Could go over prep tips. I haven't done too many preps, like me personally. I've only done 2, so there's not really any like valuable tips I could give you. If you're gonna get into like bodybuilding and prepping, do it because you like actually want to. Don't just do like a prep because if you get into a prep because like you saw like a guy on Instagram do it and you want to get into a show, you're gonna show up. You're gonna be like one of the probably you're not gonna get into it for the right reasons, which will in turn decrease the likelihood of you even finishing the prep in the first place, and it's also gonna increase the likelihood that you look like shit on stage if you're not getting into it because you actually love it. Because if you get into it for some like arbitrary reason, you're probably going to cheat on your diet, you're probably going to miss a cardio session here and there, and then you're going to come to stage, there's going to be someone that is into this because they actually love it, and they're going to kick your ass, and then you're going to be like, well, I don't want to do this thing anymore, it's just stupid. And it's like, if you're going to get into a prep or just bodybuilding in general, do it because you actually like love the process and love doing it, instead of some like arbitrary other reason. But how long have I been on here that long? Why is this still in the way? Well, I guess I'm not sure why this. If y'all have any idea on why this, or how I could get I use an Osmo Pocket 3. I'm trying to use it as a webcam, but I don't think it's going to work. If y'all have any idea how to fix that, y'all should comment below and let me know. But I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. This is just basically another test run to see how everything works. I guess I'm going to have to get like an actual camera. I mean, I guess this could work just using this camera. I would like to have like a higher quality one because like y'all saw at the beginning that quality is just like 10 times better than like the MacBook camera or whatever. But that'll be that. But I'm going to wrap it up there. I know this was like a very short, wonky podcast episode, but I'm just trying to basically, these first few episodes are basically just going to be me trying to figure out how all this works. So I hope you enjoy me trial and error in these things and see me suck at this at the beginning. But at some point, this will be very at least I have like a good backdrop now. I think my last podcast had this thing too, but at least I have a good backdrop and have a good setup here. So we're making progress, but I'll get better at this, I promise. But hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of yip yapping I did. I hope you guys enjoyed the training video that's going to come out in a couple days, and I hopefully the next time you see me, I will have everything else. I'll have this a little bit more figured out, and the next time you see me, I will be with a very, very, very special guest that I'm very excited to be interviewing. So hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I will see you guys in the next one. The Intentional Iron Podcast is out.